Welcome to the exhibit of the African American Quilters and Collectors exhibit here at Blair Caldwell Library, 24th and Welton, Denver, Colorado. And what we have here is a selection of beautiful quilts by African Americans who are members of this guild. I'm going to just kind of preview those ladies for you here. This quilt here is a quilt is in the collection of Winnie Anderson. Then we have here another quilt from the collection of Winnie Anderson. You need to get down here and see these lovely quilts. This quilt here is by Genesis. Genesis is 10 years old. She made this lovely quilt with Irma Weekly, her mentor, and they did a lovely job on that quilt. Then we have this lovely quilt here by Rosie Smith, a prolific quilter. She has two in this collection. A lovely quilt here by our past president, Rose Ship. She did a lovely job. She gave this quilt to Winnie Anderson, so this quilt is out of the collection of Winnie Anderson. Beautiful African fabric. Right over here we have another quilt. This is by Juanita Gray. Juanita Gray did a lovely job. She calls this Glory and Honor. Honor and Glory, which talks about honor and glory due to God. This quilt here is by Cynthia Martin. She's done a wall hanging called Sister Angel. And just below Sister Angel is Profiles in Beauty, also done by Juanita Gray. We have one quilt from one of our male collectors, Dr. Anthony Young, and this quilt was done by Adrian Bryant, myself, Dr. Adrian Bryant, and this quilt is about his installment into the Association of Black Psychologists in Ghana, and also an installment into a tribe there in Ghana. And if you come to the museum, you'll be able to read about the quilt. Our lovely quilt here is our sampler, the African American Quilters and Collectors Sampler quilt. And this quilt is done by the members who were in the guild. In 1998, they made this lovely sampler with the library insignia on it. And come full circle here, because we're holding this exhibit here at the Blair Caldwell Library. This quilt here is the Crazy Quilt done by Rosie Smith, a lovely quilt indeed. One of the older quilts, Nola Jones, it goes back to 1985. It was done by an AKA member, and she put her picture, all hand done. She put her picture right in there. It's a wonderful hand done quilt. Another hand done quilt here is the Roman Stripes done by Granny Annie. We don't know much about this quilter. She donated this quilt to the Grace Styles Museum, and Grace Styles picked it up at a silent auction. This is a beautiful quilt by Mary Lassiter. It's in the collection of Dr. Adrian Bryant, my collection, and it's a cat quilt that goes with another cat quilt that's here today. And this cat quilt is called A Cat's a Cat, and That's That. And it all started with this one little block about a cat, and decided to make a larger quilt as a quilt challenge in this selection. So we have a variety of quilts in this exhibit. Come down to the Blair Caldwell Library and take a look at them. And ooh, finally, I can't forget a final quilt that was used over here. I almost missed it. This is a quilt medallion quilt, because we use one big block in the middle, but it has lovely roses and 4 blocks along the side. A beautiful quilt. And hopefully by the time you come down for this exhibit, we'll have more history on this quilt too. Thank you for joining us, and I hope you come and see this exhibit soon. It'll be here for the entire month of January 2011 at the Blair Caldwell Library in Denver, Colorado on 24th and Welton. Thanks.